entrepreneur, actor and philanthropist, Mr. Vivek Anand Oberoi now joins us. All right, in this riveting conversation, he's going to share his perspectives on how evolving consumer preferences are shaping the future of premium living spaces. In conversation with him, ever-engaging Rudrani Chattaraj, anchor at Zoom TV, who brings her sharp lens to this evolving narrative. With that, Vivek Oberoi and Rudrani, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Can we give a round of applause for this dynamic man?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to be very formal and say, Mr. Oberoi, thank you once again for doing this.
It's doctor.
Sorry.
It's doctor.
Sorry, Dr. Oberoi.
If you're being formal.
Of course, let me be very, very formal with you. But what you have created with B&W Developments, especially, making a breakthrough in ultra luxury premium residences, is incredible.
Thank you.
But I, of course, want to start right at the beginning. The transition from acting to this. And how many years it finally took for you to be this tycoon, this absolute businessman who's today being revered for his sharp businessman skills?
I think I'm not one to fall into the traps of monikers and pedestals. I believe if you are defining your purpose, and if your purpose is to create value, and that's what I tell all the young people who speak to me or ask me for advice, I'm like, if you want to be valued, you have to create value. In whichever way you decide. You could be in a non-profit space, you could be in real estate, you could be creating a startup, a technology company. But if you want to be valued, you have to create value. And to me, the journey has been a very interesting one. It's a journey of perspectives more than anything else. I think there comes a time in everybody's life when challenges are really, really high. You're fighting against something, and whether it's the time, whether it's fate, whether it's the system that you're up against, there's too many challenges and you start to get cynical. You start to get pessimistic. And in that moment, if you take a pause and if you say, okay, maybe this is just not my path. Maybe I have to create my own. If you try to take a positive, optimistic outlook, look at what you already have, because many times in chasing what we don't have, we forget what we already have. And it could be a talent, it could be yourself as an asset, it could start as simple as that. And that's what I did. I started to evolve, and I said, okay, I'm blessed out of millions and millions of people who want to be in my position. I'm already there. I'm already recognized as a global name. God has given me fame, glory, success, wealth. But if I compare myself to those top 10, top 20 people who are above me in the ranking, and I'm chasing that all the time, I'll never feel fulfilled. I'll never feel like a success. I'll always feel like I'm chasing, I'm not good enough. So I stopped that. I think rat races should be for rats. I say a prayer every day, and I teach my children that. My children are 12 and 10 now. You haven't seen them, Rudrani.
I know.
I tell them, just tell yourself a prayer every day, which is every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And if that could be the mantra of life for everybody, you stop really competing at a personal level. Compete at a professional level, that's okay. You're competing with another company, but when it stops getting personal, when you stop getting wound up around it, you're able to open up and receive more. And that's what I did. I started with an evolution. I went into real estate, started small, built my base here in India, learned a lot of things. And I think if you learn to do business in India, if you learn to drive in India, you can do both anywhere else in the world.
Well said. But we're very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Before I get more into that journey and discuss it, let me first ask you, how do you look at the definition of premium residences, keeping in mind, of course, the expectations of the consumers today? Do you see the buyers asking you for exclusivity, for more creativity, for more luxury and craftsmanship? How do you look at that conversation?
I think, Rudrani, when you're using the word premium, a reflection of that is straight in terms of price. That premium means, okay, this is more expensive, this is price. But if you don't look at it in the traditional thought process and aspect, and I've done this across not only my real estate company at B&W Developments, but a jewelry company at Solitario at multiple stages. If you look at it as aspiration, if you just replace the word premium with aspiration, and then you start to define your TG, if you start to define who am I selling it to, then I think automatically you build a connect, you build a stakeholdership, you build a brand, not a trend. And there's a big difference between the two. Building a trend is easy but short-lived. Building a brand and sustaining that, for that you require stakeholdership, you require belief, you require somebody who's buying in to buy into something that's an aspiration to them. I think that's how premium should be defined. So if you identify UAE real estate, what is the aspiration there? To live better, to create a holistic environment for the family. It's a desert environment, so if you can bring biophilia, if you can bring something that's more green, you can bring a sense of water, how much nicer does a person feel coming back home? Is it a refuge in a fast city? Safety, security, all those things are a given there. So what else can you add in terms of value? And how can you create that sense of convenience and sense of stakeholdership in a community for people who are living there? But then you have the flip side. You have an investor who doesn't live there, who doesn't intend to live there. Like B&W, we have now, 17,000 brokers selling our real estate in 82 countries. And not everybody lives locally. So people are buying from 82 different countries from an investment mindset. So then that aspiration has to be to plug that investment approach. What is the sense of security you can give them? What is the sense of growth? What is the confidence you can give them in what is perceived as a cyclical market? What is a good value in terms of capital appreciation, but also value accretion through rental yield? How easy is that rental yield for them? What are the pain points not living there for them to generate that revenue stream? If you can solve for all of those, you're solving for that TG. So you have to pick your TG, understand the aspiration of the TG, and then say, this is the bridge to your aspiration. That's when they start creating stakeholdership. That's when they buy the first time for whatever their objective is. But when they come back to you again and again and again, you know you're winning. Because the same buyer is now saying, I want one more. I want to come and be a part of your next project. I had a good experience with the first one. That is buying into a brand. That is the building of a brand through that stakeholdership and through that community of investors.
Your real estate ventures, of course, focus on this ultra-luxury premium residences, right? How do you think AI is transforming this premium real estate landscape? Maybe from smart homes to also, predicting market analytics and all of that. So how do you think is the AI impact in all of this?
I think we're beginning to just scratch the surface of AI. AI is phenomenally overwhelming in terms of its impact on every angle of the business. Yes, the obvious, let's, use AI for a smart home and create this really cool gizmo-like experience, high-tech home. We do that. That's not a difficult entry barrier. AI going into analytics, again, not a difficult entry barrier because algorithms were doing it earlier. AI are doing it more live, immediate. The feedback loop is a lot faster. The depth is a lot sharper. But I think where AI can be creating a phenomenal impact is in operational efficiencies. So I'll give you two examples. One is we like to create a 5D BIM, which is like a digital twin for all our projects because they're ultra luxury. We don't want any issues coming later. We don't want to say, oh, now there's a problem during construction or post-construction with the HVAC, with the cooling systems, with the MEP, there's a nightmare. We have to break this, we have to do that, we have to fix the lobby now. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to create something that goes without issues for decades. And if there are issues, easy to identify, quick to solve, right? That's what people want to pay for in ultra-luxury experience. So today, that 5D BIM technology has a lot of manual inputs. I've just met a company that is replacing all of that with AI. So now I don't need to go in through really expensive, manual labor intense, number of hours. So what 5D BIM does for me is, if I'm making something and I want to put a carpet here, I put the data input, it tells me how much carpet I need, what the cost of that carpet will be. But if I want to put marble here, it will tell me how much marble, what the load of that marble will be on the entire building. It will give me every single data stat that normally consultants would take weeks, maybe months to get back to you on. Now, if I do that in AI, that's almost happening live. I'm working with somebody on a technology right now. It's a part of my portfolio. I'm investing in a company right now which is going from an architectural drawing to an AutoCAD seamlessly through AI. And then from there into a digital twin of the building seamlessly. So you can address so many issues, change, fix, understand financial estimates live. You can eventually, the aim is that if I'm a home buyer and whether I want to do just interior or whether I want to build my own home, I should be able to use or access something like this and get answers where now an architect's time, services are limited. Therefore, I'm not chasing a professional saying, "Yaar, mera kaam nahi hua, yaar, biwi daant rahi hai, abhi tak ghar nahi bana, yaar, rent bhar raha hu." You don't have to go through that process because you know and you can fix timelines and efficiency a lot more. A second case, I'm working with a young, bright mind. His name is Aryaman Sindhya. Brilliant kid. I've been evaluating his technology, his AI company. Now, he is bringing in an AI sales force that can pick up the phone specific to somebody like me and answer any one of the 82 countries that I serve in any language 24/7 with data live. If they ask any question that goes beyond the scope of what I train my sales force to answer, with all the human element of errors, it goes beyond that scope, is fed not on generic LLMs, but fed exactly with the data and information based on veracity, verifiable data that I feed the AI. So suddenly you have something that works 24/7 for you, can pick up a call, receive it, ask you, would you like to speak to me in English? Would you like to speak to me in Japanese, Chinese? Answer your questions in detail. Can tell you today what the transaction value in the neighborhood was right now. Well, today at 6 p.m., this was the transaction that happened and was registered on the system. So that kind of AI then further hunts a human representative, says, this is my analysis. Now, what is that analysis based on? It can even dive not just into keywords, but through keywords, understand the emotional context of the person speaking. Are they just fishing? Are they looking to buy? Are they looking to buy urgently? Stuff that you would have to train people over years to assess over a phone call, that should I chase this lead or not, is happening in seconds live. Now, these are the kind of game changers that we're trying to be early adopters to in AI. There's tokenization of real estate, which again will have blockchain, but also AI integration. So I think that's the future of real estate, and I hope it comes to India soon too.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Everybody now knows that you're so deeply involved in luxury real estate. You're the right person to ask this question. What are the trends you foresee?
I'm deeply involved in everything I do.
That is true. That is true as well.
I've been deeply involved for 15 years in my marriage also.
That is true. That is why you have a very, very successful marriage. That is there.
Having said that, with a lot of investors in the room here, there is one asset class that you guys are missing the shot on. Here's this wonderful girl that I've known for over a decade. How are you still single, Rudrani?
Please ignore him. He is thinking I will miss my questions so that he can distract me.
Truly appreciating asset, guys, all the single men in the room.
Please ignore Mr. Vivek Oberoi. He's known me for years. He likes doing this. He tries to embarrass. I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm very happy being single. But coming back to you, luxury real estate. Can you tell us the trends you foresee that are going to shape this Indian premium real estate market? Kind of finding the balance between opulence, aesthetics, and also functionality. Right. So what do you think are the trends that you kind of foresee?
I love the trends. I'm very bullish on the Indian premium real estate market. having dabbled in affordable housing, having dabbled in second homes, gated communities in India that I've built, having dabbled in commercial real estate, when I assess the premium luxury or ultra luxury real estate market in India, the trends are very, very promising. You see, the way India's growth story is panning out, expendable income, per capita GDP growth, the kind of expendable income coming to the market of India and the consistent steady growth that we used to always crib about going up, look at where China is, look how far behind we are. But the way we've evolved and strengthened our economy, not just as a market for other global players, but for a market that enables our Indian companies innovation, technology, not just aping something, which was the early stages of it, that, okay, somebody's doing, a technology company in the US, let's copy paste that and do one in India with an Indian name. We've evolved from there a lot, right? Whether you look at defense technology, look at what we've achieved recently in terms of defending the nation, it's exceptional. So I think as an overall effect of that, there is a lot more push in terms of premium real estate because people in India, especially, very house proud. House is not just a function. You're emotional about it, and I think that is what's going to drive people paying the kind of money that they do. When you hear transactions at DLF, when you hear transactions in South Mumbai, now even Juhu, and you hear those ticket sizes, you start hearing, okay, 100 crores was a big ticket size, and now you're hearing 700 crores, 600 crores, 400 crores. This, I think, will evolve even further. I see it in two categories, primary homes and secondary homes. I think India is now coming to a point where secondary homes will evolve. I've done a lot of secondary homes. I've done stuff, especially in Gujarat, where we've had a lot of success with it. But now people are willing to pay more for a better experience, to say, okay, in the city, maybe what I really want is unaffordable. So let me be smart, let me go outside the city, 2 hours drive, something practical, where I want to go and own a home. Goa used to be a place where people wanted to invest 50 lakhs, 1 crore, 1.5 crores. Today, Goan transactions are 15 crores, 20 crores, 25 crores, 30 crores. It's commonplace. So I think that's a great trend in terms of secondary homes. I feel that's going to be an eventually amazing market because we don't have in India, it's a social taboo to have a retirement community, old age home. In our minds, it's straight Vridhalaya, bad son, bad daughter, sending parents to an old age home. It's an emotional context that's very different from how you perceive it in Europe or America. But the minute you look at family home, which is outside the city, better air quality, organic food being grown right there in your garden, a lovely life, basic necessities, safety, security, healthcare nearby. The minute you create a community like that, you're creating tremendous value for people who don't have to live in the city. And you're creating an ecosystem or a place where families can meet, elders can stay longer, they have the option to come back home. So I think that is going to be the evolution of secondary homes beyond just a holiday home concept. It will start moving towards the primary home for a section of society. It will be that story where children have a weekend, chalo, 2 ghanta, let's drive to Dada Dadi's home, to Nana Nani's home, and let's have fun there. So I see that as an evolution if we're able to create that as a product in the market. I know I am trying. And the second aspect I'm looking at for Indian real estate is a concept of all-inclusive gated communities for people who don't have to have that degree of proximity to work or frequency to work, right? And I think people who've already achieved, they want that. They want that sense of having an option to go a little further out and to have an acre, to have a sprawling space, right? If you're able to build something in that space, I'm trying to do something, we're consolidating a very large bank, land bank in Pune, in a different company, in an Indian company of mine. I'm trying to do something in that space there. And if you can bring something thematic, like a beautiful location that has either natural beauty, which takes you out of the urban jungle, the concrete jungles, or has spiritual beauty attached to it, then to bring spirituality or wellness as a theme, to bring in a global partner to come and manage that seamless experience with you, I think that the thematic expansion in secondary homes is going to be the next big thing, and it's going to be at large volumes.
I'm sitting here celebrating your success,
Thank you.
but I know that it's not easy to do what you do, right? Let's talk about the challenges that you faced early on. I'm sure now they don't look that bad, but there must have been.
There's always challenges, but the beauty of challenges is that if you make up your mind and you go to the other side of the challenge, it converts into a learning. What it shouldn't convert to is arrogance. It shouldn't convert to arrogance because challenges are what teach you, and then you feel like you know it all, and that's when you misstep. That's when you don't take good advice. That's when you don't learn from somebody who's maybe less experienced than you are. But I'm a living testament to the fact that any input that I get from the junior most person around me, I consider it at least once. I consider it, check it in my head. I don't have to follow everything I hear. But you keep that as an exercise, a mental exercise to receive. Because the more successful you get, the less receptive you get. Oh, I know it, I've already done it. You're going to teach me? That is the misstep. That, to me, is the downfall. So I think challenges are a really great learning. And you can learn from your own challenges and you can learn from other people's challenges. And that's why I share. I share a lot because I want people to see if they resonate, if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling down like I did at one point. And they hear something optimistic, they hear a different point of view, they hear a different perspective, they shift their thought process and they start working towards a solution. I think that's the beauty. This human mind, this machine that God has created, has this uniqueness for problem solving. I think that's what has differentiated man from all the other living creatures, the degree of problem solving that we're able to do. So challenges are what spur our growth. And I think that's what makes you not just more successful, but also a deeper person. You're not superficial when you face challenges. I have my dad to thank for that. I mean, I was born in a rich family. I was born in a bungalow in Juhu. Grew up there. I had 3 cars and 3 drivers sitting and waiting 24/7. But my dad told me, when you're going to college, well, here's your pocket money, take a bus. Take the train, learn. And that taught me to appreciate life very differently. And if you use your privilege as a platform, that's okay. But if you use your privilege and feel entitled, that I'm privileged, therefore I'm entitled, I think that's where your growth gets stunted as a person and even in terms of as a professional or as a businessman. So that's what I try to tell people, that look, challenges will be there. I've faced a lot of them. And I've realized that if you're, banging against a door that's locked, it's a waste of energy. Walk away, step back from that door, look around in the room, there are 10 other doors. Go see which one's open, move towards that direction and see what value you can add. You'll be received.
Unfortunately, my time is up, but I could listen to this articulate man for hours. Thank you. But before I let you go, any news for all your fans who are hoping that you have some interesting projects? I know there are some, but I will let you declare it. Because I know if I ask you, you'll be like, Abhi, baat nahi kar sakte. What can you talk about? A little bit.
I think this isn't the zone to talk about movies. There's actually 2 things I'd like to address that I should have earlier. Firstly, to all the people who have family in Gujarat who've lost their lives today, my prayers, my condolences to all of those souls that have been lost. And I think all of us should find a moment of solitude where we pray for those souls. Secondly, I think for me, since this is, a forum where we're talking about success, real estate, investments, I think each of us has been trained to drive towards profit. But as a parting line, what I'd like to share as a thought with all of you in this room, all these really wonderful achievers in this room, is that my personal ethos has been that profit is for a quarter, purpose is for life. So if we can move from profit towards purpose, the personal fulfillment that you feel when you're able to make something your purpose and not own it, Don't own the purpose. Let the purpose own you. I think if you can move from profit to purpose, begin that journey, it's not just about the money. You have to decide whether you want to just earn money or do you want to truly create wealth. Because money is transactional, it's only for you. But wealth is something that you create with people participating in it. I think that's the beauty of it, and that's why it's generational. So that's the last thoughts I'd like to leave you with.
And such lovely thoughts. Please, thank you so much once again, Dr. Vivek Anand Oberoi. We will always cheer for you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Still single, still beautiful, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Rudrani. And wow, so many of us know Vivek Oberoi, the personality, and not necessarily Vivek Oberoi, the person. But that changed today. Thank you so much.